I, like you, have disappointed myself in so many ways, and I have embarrassed myself. And I, because of those moments, have found myself being my biggest critic as opposed to my greatest cheerleader. And I'd like us to have a conversation about that today. So let's have a conversation, friend. Hi, my name is Palesa, and if you're watching this, consider yourself my friend. My friend, life can show you that you really aren't as great as you think you may be. And the story comes to us through the narrative spoken to us by our mistakes. And I'd like to have a bit of a conversation with you about that today. Because we make mistakes, because we are flawed people. I mean, I remember how towards the end of last year, I made such a big mistake that I ended up having to make a lot of purchases, and my life was really inconvenienced. To sum it all up, I was very careless. I was, But the point is, because of my actions and my lack of judgment, my handbag and everything in it up being stolen and taken away from me. And I did not tell the people in my world, but I ended up beating myself up for it because honestly I was just being stupid. Yes, it may have been a mistake and an accident, but I was just being stupid. I was in an accident about 2 years ago, and I was just being careless, and it ended up being such a thing and resulting in so many inconveniences and challenges for the people I love, for the cause that I stand for. And I kept beating myself up about it. I mean, we lost a whole car because of what I did. And when you look at the consequence of what you've done and the result of your choice or your lack of judgment, and you're like, all of this happened because of me. And many times we are the ones who repeat the story, who play back the mistake to ourselves over and over and over and over and over and over again. And friend, I don't know if you've done that to yourself. I don't know if you have made certain mistakes that you regret, but because I am human, I know that it happens. And because you're human, I'm pretty sure that has happened to you as well. But friend, what I want to say is that, the Bible tells us that God is forgiving. I mean, He forgives us of our worst sins, the worst thing that we can do to ourselves and to the people in our world, and the sins that we commit against Him. He is quick to forgive. That is what the Bible tells us about Him. And every day and every time He calls us to be like Him. But many times we forget that as much as God is calling us to be like Him to the people in our world, to be loving and to be forgiving and to be caring and to be gentle to the people in our immediate spaces, many times we forget, friend, that God is calling us to be the same to ourselves. I mean, He tells us to love others like we love ourselves, to be kind to others like we are to ourselves, to be gentle to others like we are to ourselves, to be long-suffering with others like we are with ourselves. You see, friend, it starts with ourselves. It starts with me forgiving me, being kind to myself, being nice to myself. But we forget. And that is what I'd like to remind us about in this video, friend. That I don't know what you have done, what mistakes you have made. I don't know, but the consequences of those mistakes have been to yourself, to your schoolwork, to your career, to your relationships, to your body. I don't know what they may be. But friend, we need to come to a place where we forgive ourselves. You see, I needed to come to that place where I let myself off the hook. And it has been difficult. And at times I remember that, things are like this because of what you have done. But I had to remind myself that I need to forgive myself. And I want to remind you, friend, that I know sometimes our mistakes have been terrible and we had known better. But I want to encourage you, friend, to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself of those words that you said to the people that you love. Forgive yourself for losing hope. For losing hope. Forgive yourself, friend, for letting yourself go when you could have exercised a little bit more self-discipline. Forgive yourself, friend. Forgive yourself, because we are all human. We are flawed, and we need to come to accept that we are flawed people, and we need to embrace this flawed self, because even in our brokenness and even in our flaws, God still chooses and He still can reveal His perfection. But we need to start off by forgiving ourselves. So friend, I don't know what it may be. I don't know what happened. I don't know what you did. I don't know how many times you did it to yourself and to the people in your world. But friend, I'd like you to forgive yourself and stop wanting to be the executor of judgment, because that's many times what happens, that when we struggle to forgive ourselves, we become the one who executes judgment on ourselves, where we want to punish ourselves because we struggle to forgive ourselves, because we see the consequences and we realize that what we did deserves judgment. And sometimes no one knows the extent of what we did but ourselves, and that is why we are so cruel to ourselves. But friend, we are the first ones that we are called to love. So friend, love you, forgive you, let yourself go so that you can experience freedom. Freedom from self-condemnation, freedom from self-judgment, freedom from unforgiveness directed from self to self. Friend, it's time that we forgive ourselves, because life already is hard. Life already is difficult, and it doesn't hurt when we are in our own corner. So friend, let's be a whole lot more kind to ourselves, a whole lot more gentle to ourselves, so that we can be the same to everyone else. So friend, I don't know what it is, but let us forgive ourselves first, because that is where it starts. Now friend, I don't know if you are willing to be that vulnerable with yourself, but if you are, let's have a conversation and let me know what are the areas that you have had to learn to forgive yourself in, or what are the things that you are struggling to forgive yourself in. It can be small things, it can be big things, I don't know. Let's have a conversation in the comment section below. I hope you liked this video and I will do my best to make sure that I upload the next one next week. I'll do my best, friend. But expect the next video next week. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it to the people in your world. Until the next video, take care. Let's be kind to ourselves. Bye.